Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Soheb and you are watching Wrestling Fact.
10 things WWE needs to do on the road to SummerSlam 2022. There are certain things that need to happen on both Raw and Smackdown to ensure that WWE is in the best place it can be for SummerSlam 2022. Number 10. Create a new top babyface in the absence of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes' Hell in a Cell. When Cody Rhodes signed with WWE, it was uncertain how things would play out, but there is no denying the huge success around him joining the company. Rhodes has arguably become the #1 babyface on Raw, but unfortunately, he recently suffered from a torn pec, ruling him out of action. In his absence, WWE needs to switch their focus on the other talents they have on hand, and they must build someone up to fill the void that Rhodes has left. There are plenty of options, with the likes of Mustafa Ali and Madcap Moss, and already established stars such as Styles, who could step up to the main event. Number 9. Reinvigorate the SmackDown Women's Division. Ronda Rousey wins SmackDown Women's Championship WrestleMania Backlash. With the recent suspensions of Naomi and Sasha Banks, and the absence of Charlotte Flair, SmackDown has been left with just 8 active wrestlers. This simply isn't enough for the division, with Ronda Rousey's title reign in danger of becoming a disaster if she runs out challengers. Whether it be moving some names from Raw, calling up names from NXT, or properly building around those already on the blue brand, WWE seriously needs to shake things up for the female superstars of SmackDown. Number 8. No Money in the Bank cash-ins. Nikki Ash WWE Money in the Bank. In recent years, most Money in the Bank contract holders have cashed in their briefcases fairly quickly, likely due to WWE not booking in the long term. However, it is about time that WWE holds off on cash-ins following Money in the Bank, allowing anticipation and suspense to build over time. There is an added element of uncertainty with a long-term briefcase holder, and this hasn't been implemented for a long time. Number 7. Call up Braun Breaker and Damp Mandy Rose. Braun Breaker and Mandy Rose via WWE. NXT 2.0 has been led by Braun Breaker and Mandy Rose from near day one of the developmental revamp, with the pair currently reigning as the champions. However, they are both ready for a change, with the main roster in need of some fresh faces. Breaker and Rose joining the main roster will give some new focus to Raw or SmackDown, as they have each established themselves as being capable of being top stars on the show. Their call-ups should come sooner rather than later. Number 6. Start a SummerSlam feud for John Cena. Theory on John Cena. John Cena is set to return to WWE to celebrate his 20th anniversary in the business. However, this shouldn't just be a celebration, it should culminate with an angle to set up a feud for SummerSlam. WWE needs some star power for their upcoming big show, and it would no doubt be a huge rub for someone to get the win over Cena. Someone such as Austin Theory would be a prime candidate due to his youth, and having a win over Cena would be a huge bragging right for the young star to have. Number 5. Change the Intercontinental Champion. Gunther Ricochet Intercontinental Championship. As of this writing, Ricochet is still the Intercontinental Champion, though that could change very soon, with Gunther looking to become the champion. This change needs to happen, as Ricochet's reign has been a disaster. Pushing Gunther as a dominant monster champion will help to bring back some prestige to the belt. And it could eventually lead to a babyface getting a big rub and win after a long and prosperous reign for Gunther. Number 4. Keep RK-Bro together. RK-Bro Tag Team Champions. WWE have shown a tremendous amount of restraint when it comes to the team of Riddle and Randy Orton. And this must continue for as long as possible to capitalize on their eventual and inevitable breakup. Orton is currently out injured, which allows their tandem to continue, but upon his return, they still need to remain as a unit. WrestleMania 39 should be where they eventually face off in a feud, as that occasion would elevate their breakup to new heights. Number 3. Fix Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre and his sword cropped. With the live audience, McIntyre still gets some big reactions, but at times something just doesn't click, with a large part of that being down to his poor booking over the last year. With WWE's UK PPV, Clash at the Castle, on the horizon, McIntyre needs some strong booking to make him the biggest star possible ahead of that show. Giving McIntyre a good storyline for SummerSlam is imperative, although it isn't currently clear who he could face. Either way, McIntyre needs to develop a winning streak and to look dominant and focused to make him feel like a true title contender once again. Number 2. Make a decision on the brand split. Roman Reigns, WWE Raw and Smackdown. Right now, WWE's brand split is all over the place. Although Raw and Smackdown still have their own rosters, superstars have been going back and forth between shows without an issue. With the unification of both the World and Tag Team titles, there are mixed signals about the future of the brand split. WWE needs to make a decision regarding this, before one or both shows feel less significant, with it being likely that at some point the big stars will appear on Raw and SmackDown each week, meaning more rematches and a lack of story progression. Number 1. Bring Roman Reigns back to television. Roman Reigns via WWE. Roman Reigns' WWE schedule has reduced significantly over the last few months, with him wrestling only sporadically, slowly becoming a part-time champion. Weekly shows have suffered due to his absence, with him often being the best act on any given night. In the lead-up to SummerSlam, Reigns needs to be a regular on TV to help build up a title match, and to give Raw and SmackDown a much-needed boost.